We're back with a show with one of our favourite guests and one of everybody else's favourite guests, and that is Saraya Knight. Sweet Saraya is back.
Yeah, this is the record, isn't it? This is the 4th Women in Wrestling podcast.
Yes. She was on one with Brittany Knight, and she was on one with 5 other women, but this is her second full appearance by herself. Or yeah, her 4th podcast appearance.
Yeah, and her first one in about 2 years. So before anybody says, oh man, 4? That's a bit repetitive, isn't it? No, this is the first one in 2 years.
Yeah, lots happened since then, and we've got lots to talk about. It's much like this. It's much like the Sassy Steffi interview from last week. Actually, that was 3.5 years in the making. This is 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
But hey, do you know what else we did last week apart from having another Women of Wrestling podcast? We relaunched the website.
We did, and it's so pretty.
Yes, if you're one of those people who gets your audio via iTunes or Stitcher or something and then doesn't always go and visit the website, go and visit the website. It looks really cool now.
Oh, you're missing out, seriously. You're just going to love hovering your mouse over the pictures.
Yeah, we know you do it because we do it too.
It's addictive.
The hours we spent. Anyway, yeah, so go and check out the newly redesigned ringbellsonline.com or just ringbells.com. Both will take you where you want to go. And, I'm just looking at the front page now, and I just wanted to mention people retiring in Japan. That sucks.
Yes, lots of them.
You can go and watch the Natsuki Taiyo retirement show in full. It's on Daily Motion. We've got it all put together for you in a little video package there. But also Tomoka Nakagawa announced her retirement this week as well.
Yeah, don't
last
be
week,
like...
actually.
Yeah, but don't be sad thinking that she's gone now, because she's going to be retiring in December, and she may also be doing some dates overseas in 2015.
Yes, that's always nice to know. But I mean, Tomoka's been fantastic to watch over the years, and it'll be sad when she retires. Although at least, as everybody said, she's doing it of her own volition.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. You choose to go out when you want to go out.
Yes. And we're talking about all these women who are retiring, and we've got Saraya on the show, a woman who possibly will never retire.
Well, we'll ask and find out.
Should we do that then?
I think so, yeah.
Someone making their fourth appearance on the Women of Wrestling podcast. Sweet Saraya Knight is back with us. Cower and Fear, everybody!
That was sinister.
I was going to say, you wouldn't think with that laugh that she was the most feared woman around the planet in the professional wrestling world.
It's just the way that you say it. It's like, run for cover. Yeah, all right. If I get my hands on you, then you run for cover.
I don't know. I still think you could probably just come through the telephone wires or something and just come out through a screen. It's all possible.
Anything's possible. I can be with you in your dreams or in your nightmares, if anything else.
Thanks for that.
I have my own nightmare in my husband, so it's quite easy for me to get inside yours.
That's true. Anyway, let's get down to business. I was looking back to see when you were last on the show, and the last time that we actually talked to you on the podcast, it was July 2012, if you can believe that. So like almost 2 years ago.
Oh my God, it's more or less the time that Saraya's been in America then, really.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, because the reason we had you on last time was because it was the same week that Channel 4 aired the Fighting With My Family documentary.
I know, that's still going. I can't believe that I'm still getting people writing to me going, I've just seen it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a hell of an upheaval, that whole documentary, wasn't it? I mean, like, looking back on it now, I mean, it's got to be... I assume you're pleased that you've got this sort of documentary of like Raya's last time in the country.
I still break down, to be honest. I mean, I don't watch it now, and I don't know. I'm kind of proud of it, but it also upsets me a hell of a lot. And by the time where we leave her, well, she leaves us at the airport. It's just too much. So when someone is watching it, and if I know they're watching it, I'll stay out of the way, because I don't like the feeling, because it wrenches my heart every time I watch it. And it's a shame, because it's not all about that one moment, but the whole thing reminds me of Raya's departure and the upheaval that the family went through. And there's a lot more emotion attached to that documentary than just watching it and seeing the inner workings of a crazy ass family that's involved in wrestling. I mean, to us, that's an emotional departure of our youngest. So it's good, but it's a double-edged sword for me.
I gotta tell you, I mean, I still have that show saved on my TiVo 2 years on.
I've got it too.
Have you really? There you go.
Yes.
But I must admit, I haven't watched it in a long time, but when I did, and when I last watched it, I still got emotional at that point as well, so I'm not too big to admit that, but that was a hell of a wrenching moment.
Well, it was, and I mean, and to be fair to her, she's come so far. I mean, the WE have done amazing with her. I mean, she looks fantastic, you know, and I'm really proud of her, and I know all the family are, and her dad is her biggest fan. I mean, every time she rings up, he goes, "Do you know that you've got over 200,000 or 209? Or was it 200,111 people on your Twitter or?"
Oh, that's sweet.
Did you know that there is this about you and that about you, and on your Facebook there was this, and like he follows her every move. It's really great. And I mean, her dad is definitely 100% the biggest fan out there.
Rick is like the keeper of Paige facts.
Oh my God, he's like an encyclopedia of facts about Paige. He literally, he studies every dirt sheet. He reads every single thing on every forum. He gets really angry as well.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he
Yeah.
does. The internet's full of people who, you know, like to troll. So somebody like Rick, who's very protective of his child, understandably, you know, you can see why he would get upset at them.
Oh, I know. I mean, but to be honest, she doesn't really stand a chance. Well, none of them do, because they've got an overprotective mama bear and an overprotective papa bear, and like the poor kids, it's like they haven't got shadows. We are their shadows. And that's just how it seems.
I bet they wouldn't have it any other way, though, right?
Well, no, I mean, and my family is very close. We are all each best friends. We talk to each other about everything. There's no secrets. It's just how we are, and it's how we've always been. And even though Saraya is 4,500 miles away, she's as close to us as if she still lives here. So, you know, we are very protective over every single one of. I mean, you've got to remember, I haven't just got 5 children and 7 grandchildren. Well, and a great grandchild. Was it 6, 7? I've also got adopted kids, foster kids. At the last count, it was 16 grandchildren and 1 great grandchild. So
I'm not being funny, but most days when I go on Facebook, there's a picture of a new addition to the Knight family. You guys must just, I don't know, multiply.
You have lots of sex.
I'm going to say you multiply like rabbits. Is what I'm going to say.
Well, the thing it was, Roy's got 3, Zach's got 1, Nikki's got 2. So and Terry, who's my grandchild, has got a son as well. So I've got 1 great grandchild. So there's 7 altogether, but 1 is a great grandchild. But the thing is, we've also got Aaron and Bryony Xander, and we've got Tony's Harvey. Oh God, there's so many. There's so many. Believe me.
You call it a Knight dynasty. You're not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. And it's kind of really cool because a lot of the guys that we've helped through difficult times, they call us mum and dad. Like automatically, as soon as they have children, we're nana and granddad. So,
well,
you know,
I'm not being funny, but like, I mean, I noticed that in America when you first went over there, like you were there for 1 tour, and the entire Shimmer locker room were all calling you mum.
I don't get called Julia anymore. I'm mama.
Yeah,
that's it. Nobody call. It's very rare for me to be called. If I get called Julia, I'm in trouble. I'm in deep shit. If I get called Saraya, 9 times out of 10 it's a mark, but usually it's mama. That's it. That even grown women that are like nearly twice my age call me mama. It's, you know, and I mean that's saying something. These are grandparents, and they still just call me mum. It just seems to be my name.
How does that make you feel, though? The fact that you got all these people who have this kind of affection for you in that way.
To be honest, it's very humbling. Because, you know, at the end of the day, even though I'm like 42, in my head I still feel as if I'm about 17, 18, and to have you know, like the people, it's the world. It's not just like my own clique. It's people of the world to actually look at me. I mean, a mum is a huge. I don't know. It's really hard to put it into words, to be honest. And I'm not usually lost for words, but I do feel very proud of the fact that that people can associate me with the word mum, because, you know, me as a mother, I'm a very dominating mother, and I'm very caring, and I'm a right bear when it comes to my children. But I just feel like I've got a lot more children than what I've actually had, because I just feel I must have at least 400 or 500 people that call me mum, at least minimum. So, I mean, to have that sort of thing and be called the mother of wrestling. I used to be the English Rose, and then I was fit, and then I had a great body, or I had a nice ass. now I'm mum. So I'm kind of, in the 24 years I've been in the job, I've kind of worked my way through the ranks of being like, like, oh, well, you're my ideal woman, you're this, you're that, to, yeah, mum. So I don't know. I think it's really cool. I wouldn't want it to change. And I really appreciate all the women and the men that actually go out of their way to make me feel special. And calling me mum is, like, for people I care about, is a genuine accolade.
The thing is, as well, you are fiercely protective, like you said, of your children, whether they're the blood extended, well, however you want to call it. And this gets shown on your Facebook a lot when you're calling out a lot of people who are imitating your children.
Oh my god, that drives me absolutely insane. I don't mind people role playing. I really don't mind that at all. I don't even mind people being actually having the page and having my sons or my daughters, pictures up, as long as they say it's a fan page or their RP. If they have that after their name, then they won't get anything from me. But when you get people and they're turning around and saying stuff like, take for example, my husband wrote me a message the other day, and didn't really think much of it, and it was just something very random, like, hi babes, how are ya? And I found it really, really strange, and there was something in the back of my mind that was saying, this ain't right. So I've clicked on his name, and I've gone on there, and it's his Facebook, it's his header, it's his profile pic, and I'm looking, and it's like got the epic poster, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is him, but there was something that weren't right. Well, the thing is, when I go away, me and my husband speak every day, and sometimes it can be like 2 or 3 minutes in between each message, so we're continually talking. There was no messages in the message, from what I was reading, and I thought, oh my god, someone is impersonating my husband so much that they've taken his header, his picture, they're even posting the same things as he's posting on his Facebook page, and then writing to me and trying to get my attention. Now, when someone is going to that much extreme to impersonate somebody that you love, and my son, I was fuming the other day, someone had replicated Zach's Facebook page, and she had written, Zach had made me get rid of my baby, Zach kicked me in the stomach, Zach beat me up. Yeah. I wouldn't have lost my baby if it wasn't for you. And I'm thinking, like, this girl's a nutcase. So I wrote to her, and I've gone, like, buck up. Like, what is the matter with you? How can you do stuff like this? The boy is getting married, and he's got a kid, and oh my God, I went out of my mind. But then, me being me, I've then put all my kids' names into the filter of Facebook, and it's an endless battle. And where Saraya is concerned, there must be, we're talking 10, 11,000 at least minimum people role-playing, doing fan pages, or pretending to be her. I found 6 today. Apparently she was with Dolph Ziggler. Then she was with Tyler Breeze. She's been with Randy Orton, John Cena. All of these people that she's meant to be with. And all it takes is like Dave Meltzer made the mistake of reading a role-playing page, and she'd written some real bad stuff, this role player, about the WWE, inner workings of the WWE, and it was all crap. But Saraya got pulled in for it, and so this is how dangerous these pages can be. And I was a bit, she wasn't called out by WWE, she was called out by fans and different things, because the WWE know that she's fine that way, and they've got no problem with her. But it's not just her, it's my husband, my sons, my daughter, my grandchildren. All of us are being copied, and it's now getting to the stage where I've written to Facebook, and it's like, how can you not do something about this? How can Facebook not have guidelines and not have ways of people proving who they are? And it's really a mission for me now, because I just think that Facebook, as much as it's a great social media and it's a great way of people interacting with each other, I think it's the most dangerous thing on the planet. And I just feel something needs to be done about it, definitely, because I'm sick of it, and I'm being personally affected by this. And I am writing to Facebook continually about this, and I will get Facebook to put strict measures in so that if people have a page, they have to prove it with either a driving license or a passport, or prove that they are who they say they are, because this is getting pathetic. It's so dangerous.
I say personal mission. I think we seem to have turned this conversation around from isn't it nice to be loved to hate. Oh
God, yeah, but anyone that knows me knows I can turn on a sixpence.
No, I know. I want to basically try to turn it around to nice things again, though. So
Oh God, yeah, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm the nicest person you ever wish to meet if you're respectful and if you're honest, because I've got no filter, and if I don't like it, I'll tell you. But I'm just the sort of person that's fiercely independent, and I'm fiercely protective over people that I genuinely care about, and that's just me.
Indeed. Well, let's talk about something positive, though, right?
Go for it.
Let's talk about this coming weekend. Let's talk about Bellatrix 9. This Sunday,
it's crazy, isn't it?
Epic Studios, yeah. And I mean, if you count the first WAWW The Return show, I guess that's 10. But I mean, I suppose we've got the real Bellatrix 10 coming up.
It's October. Yeah, big one. Yeah, October is always our big one.
Okay, whoa, your big one. There you go. So I mean, we got the Queen of the Ring this weekend, and we have a main event as well with Sami Baines defending her European Championship against Blue Nikita. First time.
My God, that's going to be a bloodbath, isn't it?
First time they fought at the last show. I'm not going to say I wasn't expecting much, but I wasn't expecting anything near as physical as those two women put on.
Oh my God. Well, Sami Baines at the moment is, to me, one of the most amazing female wrestlers out on the circuit at the moment. That girl has got attitude. She can wrestle. She's strong. Her work looks completely solid. And she takes no prisoners. And I just think that she is, to me, the best thing out there at the moment. She's amazing. And I've never seen her yet in a bad match. And I mean, that is, for someone to be able to say that about someone else, the girl, to me, she should be on every federation, anywhere that she can get, anywhere around the world, because the girl is just phenomenal. I can't even say that word. Phenomenal.
Well, she did have she had the match of the night at Bellatrix 8 against Blue Nikita. She also stole the show with Liberty at Bellatrix 7. When you consider the amount of talent that was on that show, that was a fair thing to do. And I wrote about it in the roundup this week, and I said that I expect this match to be the match of the night again.
Oh God, yeah. No, definitely. I'm not taking anything away from the girls that are in the Queen of the Ring, but there is no way that any of us are going to beat that main event match. It's impossible. You've got Blue Nikita and Sami Baines beating the living shit out of each other. I'm sorry, but I can't see much at the moment on any show, on any given day at this moment in time, topping that match. That is going to be brutal. And I know it's going to be brutal. And I'm actually really looking forward to it, to be honest.
You're going to be a fan for that one.
I am going to be a total fan for that one, because even though... Sammy used to be my daughter's tag partner, because they were part of the Norfolk Dolls and everything. So there is history there, and I've watched Sammy grow up, and I know that she was absolutely devastated when she had to walk away from wrestling, when she had Ruby, and it really, really did pull at her heartstrings. So much so that she actually stepped away from the family and everything for about 2 years. I mean, it really, really hurt her. But since she's come back with this aggression and this dominance and this fire that I haven't seen in girls for a long time, and she's putting a lot of the girls to shame at the minute with her, just the way that she is. The girl is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think she's probably, you got to say, she's one of the undiscovered talents for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are sleeping on Sami Baines at the minute. They haven't seen her, they don't know enough about her. But I mean, this match this weekend could be the one that people, get told, you've got to see this match.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's not seen that girl work. I mean, Blue Nikita has been in the job a long time. Yeah. The girl knows her matches with Vesna are legendary, and I know that the matches that Nikita had with Saraya were absolutely crazy. So I absolutely adore Nikita, and she's been a very close and good friend of mine for a lot of years. But I know that she's not going to hold nothing back, because the girl can have a fight. That girl can definitely have a shoot, but so can Sammy. So I'm going to sit as a fan in the audience and watch that and mark out for it, because that is my sort of style. That's the style I love. I love the violence. I love the full contact. I want to see the marks and the smashes and I'm hoping it will go to fists. I really hope it will end up in a fist fight, because the old adrenaline will be pumping and I'll be out of my chair and shouting with the rest of them, because we're looking at quite a few people coming down to the show. So I'm going to definitely mark out for that match, I think, if I'm not too battered from my own.
Well, that's true. And you are...
Well, you could have 3.
Well, that's true. You are involved in the Queen of the Ring, so if you're going to be the Queen of the Ring, you're going to have to win 3 matches.
Yeah, to be honest,
the last thing you want to think about right now is doing 3 matches in one night, right? Yeah.
God, I mean, I'll deal with that on the night, I think. I mean, the thought of wrestling 3 times in a night at the sort of style I do isn't for the faint-hearted. And you've got to remember, I got a broken nose on my last trip. I've only been home like 10 days, 15 days from my 7-week tour. So, I kind of broke my face. I seem to break my face a lot, to be honest. But yeah, I'm still recovering from that. So the thought of 3 matches is just making me pee a little, to be honest. But I'll do it. I mean, if that's how it happens and that's what it takes, then obviously I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat the crap out of whoever I'm in with. But it's still daunting, because the girls that are in the Queen of the Ring are no mugs.
Run through them quickly for us if you've got the lineup in front of you. I mean, I've got it if you need.
Right. Well, I mean, in no particular order. I mean, I've got Bacardi. I was drawn against her. And then Destiny broke her. Well, she's actually broken her big toe in a splinter, a cane fracture. So instead of breaking it across the toe like normal people do, she had to break it down. What? So she actually broke her big toe in half.
Oh!
I know.
Is that even possible?
Well, yes, because she has. Yeah, bless her heart. She was leafleting, and she fell up a step, and the toe butted against the step and split in 2. So yeah, she's in a lot of pain at the moment. So replacing her is Amy Lee Kramer, the daughter of the very well known Carl Kramer.
Indeed.
So basically, I always have girls on standby, and Amy Lee has impressed me a lot, especially when she done a seminar with my husband and Jimmy Ocean. And she came out of that seminar absolutely buzzing, and her style had been completely changed. And since she's done that seminar, that girl is definitely someone to watch. So it just seemed like a natural progression for her to take over. So she's gonna be going on against, I'm just trying to think, is it Erin Angel?
It's Erin Angel, yeah.
So it'd be Amy Lee Kramer, Erin Angel, me, Bacardi, Lady Laurie versus Penelope, and Liberty versus Scarlett. So they're the matchups. So what we're betting on, huh? Who's going to be in the final? Who's your coach for the final? Give me your final 2.
Oh, God, don't ask me to do that.
Well, you pair of you have got to do it. Give me your final 2 and we'll see who's right.
Well, because it depends on the brackets, obviously. But I am going to go with... Oh, God. Oh, I wish I was dead. Stu, help me out.
I will go for... I will go for Erin Angel versus Liberty in the final.
Okay, what about you?
I was thinking Liberty and Penelope.
Okay. Well, to be honest, they'll both be good matches.
That's my gut feeling.
Whichever way you look at it, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, whichever way you look at it, if any of those girls got through, it's still going to be cracking matches. So
there's a lot of talent on this show.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that we're rearranging little things at the minute. We've got new sponsors coming in. The other sponsors now have done their time. So a lot of the sponsors like to do like a year, and then they wait a year, and then they come back a year, because that's just how they want to do it. And so I lost 3 sponsors. I've gained 2. So I need to gain another one to help with the October show. So if there's any sponsors out there that want to advertise, because obviously we've got Ben TV as well. So if there's anyone out there that wants to sponsor Bellatrix, then as long as your product is reasonable enough, and it's not like vibrators or anything. I mean, there's no way I'm going to be advertising stuff like that. But if anybody wants to
target demographic, though, right?
Then I'm more than happy.
Okay, well, I mean, let's take a look. I mean, you talked about the fact there's lots of talent on this show. I mean, looking back across the Bellatrix shows to date, and like you're saying, you've almost got 10 of them done now, and we've got 10 coming up in October. I mean, you've achieved quite a lot in the time that you've been doing these shows, and there've been some really sort of memorable moments. What do you look back at and think, that was good. That was when we really hit it.
To be honest, my favourite show that we've ever done was the European one, where I brought girls in from all over Europe. There was like 20 females or something.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that one. I think the best for fighting and actual hard hitting was the last show we done, the one with the Rumble. I think the girls around the matches beat the shit out of each other. So I think for fighting, it was that. But I think for credence, it was Shimmer versus Bellatrix.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And having a Shimmer title match on a Bellatrix show as well.
I think, to be honest, that match will always stay with me because of the build-up, the way it was portrayed, my family being in my corner, Destiny's family being in hers. The fact that, I mean, I did genuinely get cut open, and Jimmy was adamant that he had to stop the bleeding. And usually in wrestling, they let the blood flow, and it's all about the blood on the face. But, I was very, very lucky that Jimmy allowed that to go and that we managed to keep the blood out. I mean, like Jimmy said, I'm not messing with you. This is a world title. This is the Shimmer, the biggest title in the world for women. There is no way that you are going to go there with blood in your eyes. You are, and he was adamant about that. And I kept saying to Rick, just get rid of the blood. And we weren't allowed to have any Vaseline or anything like that there. But, it was a genuine cut. And Jimmy kept looking at it and he's going, I don't know if this can carry on. Well, I was really panicking because if I didn't retain that title, then I was going to be going into Canada titleless. It was there was so much pressure on me that night that I really genuinely, Trina beat the shit out of me. And let's not mistake that. That girl was a very tough opponent and she still is. But there was a lot of emotion tied to that fight, and that's going to be marked down as one of my favourite ever fights I think I've been in. One of them.
Let's talk about the Bellatrix Rumble at the last show. 30 girls, one match in a Rumble. And it turned out to be a really entertaining match. But,
yeah,
I mean, were you always confident that it was going to be that? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I thought, it could be a complete cluster.
Yeah. I was really genuinely worried. I've got to be 100% straight with you.
You were worried I had to call the bloody thing.
I know.
But,
there was a lot of girls there that I hadn't used before,
yeah.
But I had seen. I'd been to training schools. I'd done some training with them, and Bellatrix has always been for me a place where not the girls that are already noticed, it's the girls that are going unnoticed, the untapped talent. I'm not interested in like the stars that are on the circuit, on the European circuit now. And that doesn't sound horrible. I know it sounds horrible, but there's a lot of girls like Sammy Baines. There's a lot of girls like her that because they're not internet darlings, because they don't, like dress provocatively, because, they don't go out there and they've got the false eyelashes and stuff. These girls are fighters. And I'm a huge believer that, give any girl a chance. Just give them a chance to shine. And you've also got to remember, amongst that 30-girl Rumble, there was a girl in there that was blind, deaf, and dumb.
That's actually true, and that's a great story. Tell us a little bit about that for people who didn't know that story, because that's incredible when you think about it.
Well, her name is Laura Marinelli. She's married to Marco Marinelli, one of our WAW guys. In fact, he's one of our champions. And she came up to do some training schools. Now, she loves boxing. She loves fitness. She does a lot of running. She does the, like when you run and you swim and you bike.
Oh,
what they call
triathlons.
triathlons. Yeah, she does a lot of that and everything as well. But she's got the vision she's got is she's just got peripheral vision on her right-hand side. So if you're looking straight ahead, she can't see you. But if she turns her head to the side, she can just about see her. So that's all the sight she's got. So I think it's 15% peripheral she's got. She's completely deaf, and she cannot speak. She she doesn't even do, you know, like when people are deaf and dumb, they kind of mouth the words. She doesn't really do that. She does sign language, and her husband is like by her side all the time, so he interprets for her. So when we had the meeting and I was introducing the girls to each other, I had to specifically say, do not treat Laura with kid gloves. She's in there for a reason, but she's got implants behind her ears. She's just had an operation for the implants. So I had to kind of explain to the girls to be wary of the implants around the back of her head, and that could they please lay off the headshots, but they can beat the shit out of her from the neck down. And she went in there, and that girl, I was so proud. That girl went out there and showed that disability is nothing but a word. She went out there and oh my God, the way she threw herself over that top rope, you know, it was magical. It was magical to see a girl like accomplish something that big. And you got to remember, there was 30 girls in that Rumble, and that girl was able to hold her own. And you know, people should actually really kind of look at her and realise that life ain't so shit. You know, when you've got a dream, just go for it, because that girl put everything she had into that match, and she came backstage and she was so happy, and you couldn't bring her down, and she's so excited about doing it again. She wants to come in and do it again. So I'm thinking about like getting her trained up a little bit more, and seeing if she can do a tag match, and take her down finally to a singles match, which is her dream. So I'm sure I can accomplish that with her, because the girl is so fit and so talented and so headstrong that she's I don't know, she's just a great advertisement for people that think that there's no hope in life and that they've been dealt a bad hand, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said something similar in commentary at the time, but that wasn't about her disabilities. That was about her abilities. That was about what she could do rather than what she couldn't do. She's never
had disabilities to come in the way of her.
No.
And you've got to think, if let's put it this way, if I put any woman in a ring blindfolded with plugs in their ears and tape around their mouth, and told them to not only get in the ring but find their own way into the ring, fight and try and win that match, how many women could actually go out there and do that? I know I couldn't. You've got to remember, she walked from backstage along the rampway into the ring.
Yeah.
And was straight in there fighting people. You know, that girl is just an absolute miracle, and I'm so proud to call her a Bellatrix girl. She's everything that what we stand for is Laura.
Absolutely. Hey, before we move off Bellatrix, I just wanted to mention as well. Last year, towards the end of last year, you had made a mention of some of the girls that you were planning on bringing in from overseas, some imports and stuff like that. And I know that, you know, they haven't been on the last couple of shows, or, well, you know, we just going to say, it's a money issue at the minute, but it'll be a case where, you know, when those sponsors come back on board, we might see those people back on the show again. Well,
the thing is, the Shimmer show cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. And I'm not saying that, you know, because we're not in trouble at all, but the thing is that when you've got high-paying sponsors, you can do a high-paying show, but the sponsors want something for their money. So, you know, we had to realistically sit and look and go, right, okay, we needed that show, as I said, for the credence of the whole thing. But I genuinely love Jessica Havoc, Alison Kay, and Leva Bates. I genuinely love those girls. I think they are fantastic workers, and I think that they could add to Bellatrix. They were meant to come in March, and I lost 2 sponsors because it was March to March. So, and I just didn't think. I had my head so far up my arse that I really didn't think. And then with this show, we wanted to do a Queen of the Ring, so it was never in the makings really. You know, I wanted to. If I could have got them over here, then I would have had them here, and it would have been a different show than Queen of the Ring. But once I realised that we really need to put some money back in the coffers, that I had to be realistic and stop trying to run away with myself. I mean, again, we're going to see what the show does and how the show makes, and I've got sponsors that I've got to meet up with and deal with between now and October. So, you know, never say never. Those are the girls that I will be bringing over next, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah,
You know, the very next imports I'll be bringing in will be those three girls. I am not going to break my promise to them, nor am I going to have egg on my face. Those girls will be the girls that I bring over when I bring imports over. But at this moment in time, I think that we've got a great pool in Europe. I think there's a lot of untapped talent in Europe, and I just think that those girls really deserve to kind of have a shine. You know, that's what Bellatrix 9 is about.
Hey, I have a question to ask. I know there's one thing that you love to do when you come in this show, and that's tell stories. And I wanted to see whether or not I get you to tell a story that you did tell me back last Shimmer, and it was a story of what happened the night that Paige won the WWE Divas title.
Oh my God!
I remember you telling me this, and I don't know if you mind telling it on the show, but I just remember thinking it was a really cool story at the time. Because, much to people's surprise, perhaps, you were in the country, but you weren't at the show with her.
No. I'd been brought in because, like, me and Saraya were going to have our hair done and our nails done, and we were going to get ready for WrestleMania together. And I was going to shoot down to New Orleans on the Sunday night to, like, watch her at Raw. But the thing is that she didn't know whether she was on Raw or not. She just genuinely didn't know. So, I mean, I was never going to be on the Shimmer New Orleans thing. Me and Jessica Jessica Havoc were always going to be on the Shimmer show. And I mean, Dave was very, you know, straightforward, and he's always been dead honest with me. So I'm in Saraya's apartment, and I get a text message from Saraya on Monday at 5:00. Telling me to watch Raw. And I've gone, why? And she's gone, Mum, just watch Raw. So I'm there, and I'm really starting to panic, and I'm feeling very low because the internet was down, and I couldn't talk to my family. I was feeling very, very abandoned and very alone at the time. And then my daughter turns around and goes, Mum, you have to watch it. I didn't even know what channel the wrestling was going to be on, because it's different over there to here. So I've literally ran out the door, knocked on all Saraya's neighbours' houses, and said to them, you have to come out your house now, come upstairs and watch Raw with me. You have to watch it. I cannot watch this alone. I need to share this moment, and I can't contact my family. I can't talk to my husband. I can't contact my sons. I don't want to be alone if Saraya is going to be on Raw. I need someone to share this moment with. And I literally, I banged on Eric's door that lives downstairs, and Brian and Michelle and just everybody. And like we've literally all piled into Saraya's, and like she's come out, and like my heart has just leapt and my stomach is churning. It's like, oh my god. I mean, it was like the music came on, and like everybody around me was like screaming, and I was just really silent. And it was like, oh my God, this is it. She's the bitch. She didn't tell me what's going on. And then next thing you know, 3 minutes later, my daughter is the Divas champion, the WWE champion of the world. And everybody is screaming and shouting, and I am just there in floods of tears, like an absolute arsehole, snotting snot bubbles out of my nose.
Lovely.
So proud that I couldn't even talk, and everyone's just kind of turned around at me, and we just ended up with this huge group hug. But yeah, I actually got a rent-a-crowd and knocked up all the neighbours because I didn't want to spend that moment alone. So yeah, thanks, Stu.
Who does that though? That's the thing. And I seem to remember you saying at the time that at least some of them weren't even wrestling fans. They obviously recognised Rhea because they're neighbours of hers, but they weren't even wrestling fans.
Yeah. Some of the poor buggers I pulled out their houses didn't even realise that Saraya was a wrestler.
So how intimidated were they that they came to watch a wrestling show and they didn't even like the thing?
Well, I can be very persuasive.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
You know, and to be honest, I mean, they knock on the door, I grab them, I pull them out of their house and drag them upstairs and tell them to wait. And then I go off and then I bring another one. It was like a serial killer lining up his next victims and doing them all in one go.
This is completely the wrong way round, though, because isn't it supposed to be the case that if you start banging on somebody's door in America, there's a possibility that they might draw a firearm? And there you are, you're dragging them out of their houses. You haven't got anything, you just got the sheer willpower, and go to this house and stay there. God damn it.
Lee, would you turn around and tell me no.
Jesus, no.
Right. Not very many people do. So, and these guys were friends as well. I mean, you've got to remember when I stay at Saraya's, these guys, when Saraya is like working, will nip me to Walmart to go and get something to eat, or, you know, and they do help me. And her neighbours are absolutely fantastic, even though some of them didn't really know me and some of them didn't really understand about wrestling. They got caught up in the moment just as much as I did, and their tears were real. So yeah, there was a lot of love and a lot of pride that was going on in that room, and the only thing that I was gutted about was not being able to share it with my husband and my kids. I was devastated that I couldn't contact Rick. So yeah, but yeah, it was an extremely emotional time for me, and it still is. I mean, she still astounds me every day, and she still makes me proud every day. And you know, for a child to do that, that's when you know you've done your job right.
So when you finally managed to get on the Skype with Rick, was it just floods of tears for about 10 minutes?
Well, it was actually the next morning. So it would have been about 2 o'clock, like English time. And I came straight on as soon as I saw the internet was up, we'd done a Skype with all the family. So there was like Rick and Zach and Roy and Courtney and Emily and the grandchildren and Terry and Nikki and just everybody was there. And there was little old me in Saraya's apartment, and there was my whole family in the office. And yeah, there was tears. There was, oh my God, I don't believe it, and this is crazy. And you know, it was the most shocking thing that the family have had to deal with. It was more shocking than the fallout the next day from the documentary and the amount of people that saw us in a different light. It was really, really crazy. And to see one of our own do that, and the world actually cheered with us, and you know, I felt the vibrations right the way through the universe, literally. I mean, it sounds really crazy, but like straight away my phone blew up, my computer blew up that morning. My phone actually broke. I couldn't get my phone restarted, and when I eventually did, I had nearly 280 messages. You know, and that's without the notifications and the friend requests, and you know, my Twitter feed blew up. It was just one of those moments where you just felt as if the universe was against me in the beginning, because I couldn't get anybody around me. But then it was in my favor, because it just seemed like everybody in the world wanted the same thing as I did. And it was, you know, I felt the world cheer, and it was just fantastic. It was such an eye-opening moment for me as a mum and as a wrestler. I mean, she is just unbelievable, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a question just before that. Before we go on. How long was it between that title change happening and you actually being face to face with her again?
Right, Wednesday.
So that's a bit of a wait.
And she was pissed at me, actually, because she rang me to tell me what time she was going to be at the airport. And I knocked on Michelle's door, and Michelle wasn't there. She was at work, because she works in a, like we call it, a solicitor's. And then I've run across the other bit, and I've knocked on Eric's door, and Eric wasn't there. So the guy that lives upstairs is he does stocks and shares, and he has to work during the day on the stock market. So I'm banging on his door like a lunatic and going, you've got to help me, you've got to help me. I can't get to Saraya. She's at the airport in like half an hour, and I need someone to come and pick her up. Can you help me? And he's dropped everything, absolutely everything, and he shot me over to the airport, and she'd been waiting 20 minutes.
Uh-oh.
He was angry. I mean, the Divas champion, she's just won the belt.
She's not supposed to wait.
She was really, really like not happy with me at all. And as I've gone, I've kind of picked up her bag and kind of like tiptoed to the boot of the car and put it in and opened the door for her, and she slid in the back, and I've kind of slid in the front, and I've turned around and looked at her, and I went, I fucking love you, princess. And she just looked at me, she just gave me this huge grin, and like then that was it. Then like the waterworks started, and the mouth was going at 100 miles an hour, so much so that every time I tried to speak, she'd go, shut up a minute, mum, and then she'd carry on. So yeah, she was so proud and so happy, and tired, extremely tired, because she'd worked very hard in New Orleans. But yeah, it was amazing to see my little girl's eyes glisten, and it's thanks to the WWE and her hard work, really, that this has happened. So it's kind of cool, really, isn't it?
kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
You touched on earlier the recent predilection you've had to getting your face beaten off, if you'll pardon the expression.
Yeah.
And we
Need to get
Sorry, my brain went in a different direction there.
we've had stories from you in the past about injuries you've had, including going blind for an extended length of time, which is still a story that just boggles my brain. And before we started, you were just talking about the fact that, you know, the various injuries you've got and so on. And you kind of look at what you do and the style that you wrestle. And Lee and I were talking before you even came on the line, just mentioning some of the things that you've been involved in and some of the matches you've been involved with. I mean, apart from
another one with Eric Cannon, I loved the match with Eric Cannon.
I was going to say, I heard about that. I wasn't at that show. I was in the country, but I wasn't at that show. But Dave Prezak came back and he was like, it was like a Terry Funk match, is what he told me. And I was like, what? That's high praise.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. You know, I would do it all over again tomorrow. I just loved every part of that match.
So you guys were bleeding all over the Eagles Club with that one. You've been in Montreal the last couple of years doing matches up there, including bloodbaths with Lufisto. You've been.
Oh my God! Yeah, we beat the
Shine. You've been doing Last Woman Standing matches with Jessica Havoc. I mean, these are all hard hitting matches. How are you still walking?
I don't know. And to be honest, I actually feel really good at the moment. I was feeling a bit sore when I came back from Australia, but I think that's due to the fact of the travelling. You know, that kind of hurt a bit, and it took me a while because I don't get jet lag from there. But it did take me a while. My back was really, really, really sore. So it took me a good week to get my back into motion. But touch wood, I'm feeling fighting fit at the moment. I feel really, really good.
It's rare I ever talk to you when you don't have some sort of injury going on.
Well, yeah, I've just got over. I had my nose broken, like the last time I was over in America. So I had my nose broken. The time before, I had my nose broken again. I had my cheek broken in 2 places in the first match of Shimmer. So I do seem to be getting a lot of facial injuries just lately. I don't know. I kind of put on a lot of weight, you see, so I don't really get that much problems like on the rest of my body. But my head and my face seem to kind of get a bit of a beating just lately. And I probably, if I broke my nose again, the doctor said I'd probably have to just have some rhinoplasty done. But it's like me. I put it back myself. So, and he said I did a good job. Yeah. But it was too much of a mess. It was a real bad mess. My nose was up into my eyebrow. So I kind of went home. Yeah. My nose was broken. So it was like the middle part where the cartilage bit was facing one way, and then the other part was facing up into my eyebrow. So
it's like a Picasso painting.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a slight kink to it, and my nose is widened across the top, so my eyes look a little bit sunk on either side because the bridge of my nose has got a lot wider now. But yeah, I kind of put that in Saraya's bathroom. God, I screamed. That didn't feel nice at all. But I got it back in, and I got it quite straight. So, and I'm able to breathe through it a little bit better as well. So that's kind of cool.
Oh,
but yeah. I think since the last time I spoke to you, the most shocking one, oh. You know when you just don't know whether you should say it or not? Because I feel great at the minute and everything is healed, so please don't worry about it.
It's not a jinx, I swear.
This is, I'm good. But I broke my back a year ago, March, and didn't know. I didn't know. I just thought it was pinch.
Not know that you break your back.
No, I broke. Is it the T4 or something? It's between the shoulder blades. I clean broke one of the vertebrae, and I knew it was pinching a bit, and I knew that I felt uncomfortable, and that if I was kind of doing too much like heavy lifting or anything like that, I would get a sharp pain. But I don't know. I just thought I might have had some white tissue damage. You know, like the what's it called? like the cartilage or something like that. I thought I might just nipped it or something. So it just wasn't going, and I was starting to get a lot of pain, and it was going from my coccyx literally right up into my neck, and it just seemed like my spine was on fire. And I went to my doctor about it, and on Christmas Eve, just gone, I went up to the hospital for a full MRI scan. And the doctor rang me up at the office, and I went down to see him, and he turned around and he said, okay, you broke your back. There's no way to kind of say anything more about it. And he said, but that's the bad news. He said, but the good news is it's healed, but the scarring is, you can actually see where it's been broken, and you've got some tissue damage either side of your spine. And I've kind of looked at him, and I'm thinking, and like, it just seemed like my back just steadily got painful from that conversation. So I kind of went, I left. I left, and he then told me, I went back, and then he said to me that my coccyx has been broken 4 times, and it's now free at the bottom. It's still attached, but it's free moving, and it kept clicking under my hip. So he said, oh, well, you might need an operation on that to kind of sort that out. And I go, what might? And he went, yeah, probably. He said, but we won't bother until you finish wrestling. So then I've gone, right. And then the next morning I'm lying in bed, and the doctor rings up, and he says to me, I didn't tell you at the time, but we found osteoarthritis in the base of your spine. And that was like, oh, right, okay. So my back is knackered. And he said, well, it's not good. It's not good. So the beginning half of the year of this year, I was in a real bad place because I didn't know what to do, because my life has been wrestling, and it's like, well, what do I do? I've never had an injury stop me before, but I've never flipping broken my back. I mean, that kind of shocked me as much as it's shocking the people that's listening to the story. But I thought, fuck it, doesn't matter. Let's just go on. Let's just do this. Let's see what happens. So I done like the stuff in March, for like Shimmer and everything, or April. And it felt great. In fact, it is the best I'd felt after any Shimmer show that I'd done. I felt amazing. And then, I'd done Canada and everything, and I felt great. And I came home, and I was in jet lag when I came home, and then I shot off to Australia. And the only time that my back has hurt, really, since I found out that I'd actually broken it, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all healed now, so I'm good. But I do get pain in my lower back, like achy pain, but I've been in the job, it'd be 25 years in April. I mean, I don't know what I expect out of my body, but I take glucosamine, and I take the I can't say it, Quandition or Quanidation, and that helps me a hell of a lot. And I have not felt, my back has not felt this good, possibly for the last 3 years. I haven't felt this good back-wise. So it's only like if I'm down in the office too long, if I'm sitting in the chair too long, then the base of my back starts to hurt a bit. But I've got a back roller, and I'll go and get in the ring, and I'll roll my back out, and I'll get up, and I'll have a stretch. I was like, oh, right, okay, I feel good. But bodily-wise, I think that I'm the best that I have been in as long as I can remember. Mentally, physically, and everything, I feel really, really good. I feel fit. I feel awake. I feel alive. And it's probably the fact that my back doesn't seem to be playing me up as much. I seem to be I'm doing more work. I'm actually wrestling more and training more than I ever have, but I feel amazing. So, at the beginning of the year, where I was trying to work out whether I was going to retire from wrestling, give it this year and then retire, not tell anybody, just kind of slip out into oblivion, and just like Dave know, and Lexi know, and people like that know, and just keep it quiet. But now it's like no chance, absolutely no chance whatsoever. I am fighting fit. I feel absolutely brilliant. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm in it for the long haul. So,
well, that was actually going to be one of the follow-ups. Was going to be, how long can you keep doing this? So, as far as you're concerned, forever is your answer.
I'm feeling good. I mean, I am feeling good. It took a while when I came back from Australia for me to kind of sort myself out. But yeah, I roll on my back every day. I stretch my back out every day. And I only need to do like 5 or 10 minutes, and that's enough. And yeah, I feel absolutely like, it sounds daft, but peak physical, and I'm not worried. I've my all my dreams have been fulfilled. All my ambitions have been fulfilled. I'm now in the job purely because I love it and not because I'm striving for anything. And I'm relaxed. I feel good. I feel like I really need to fight. And I just love it. I love the violence of my work now. And I think I'm better now than I've ever been. So
while I just get over the dizziness from shaking my head at that last broken back story, it just kind of occurred to me for something. You said you broke your back last March, yeah?
Yeah.
You had that cage match with cheerleader Melissa in April
Uh-huh.
at Shimmer 53. This is the show where you took a super hurricane runner off the top rope
Yes.
with a broken back.
Yes. But
Right,
I
just
didn't know
wanted
it
to
was
ask.
broken. But if you watch that match, you will see me walk from the far corner and stop because my back went out. And I actually stop in the ring and I'm thinking, oh, that didn't feel good. That didn't feel good. And that was before the Rana. But then I just walked it off and carried on and felt fine. But yeah, I mean, she beat me. She deserved the title. The girl went out there and done it. And I was a lot more sore than she was. So
I love the idea of walking it off. It'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I had to because,
Well, yeah, I suppose you couldn't exactly stop and say, I'm hurt.
Yeah, but
It's
the thing
biggest
is,
match in Shimmer history.
yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from Melissa. I didn't know that I was injured. She didn't know that I was injured. Both went out there. We give it what we thought we could give it. We done as much as we could do, and the girl beat me. So as far as I'm concerned, she deserved that title. My spat with Melissa is over. It's finished. If I got another chance at the belt, I would kick the shit out of her. But I've got no worries about that. But the past is in the past firmly now, and now she's just another wrestler with a belt that I'm still chasing. Because anyone can be a 2-time Shimmer champion. I can as well. I've already won it once. There's nothing saying that I can't win it again. And to be honest, with Tomica going, I'm actually going to grab Rhea O'Reilly and me and her are going to storm through Shimmer in October. Absolutely storm through. And I tell you something, we're going to take no bleeding prisoners either. So I might be the first woman to hold both titles. So, watch this space. I'm coming for those tag belts. So
that mention of Tomoka Nakagawa, who's of course retiring shortly, retiring later in the year. I just wanted to mention that the match you had with her this past April, it was I think the first taping on the Saturday, and you came out and just kind of like were your usual self, and Tomoka came out, and I don't think I've ever heard the Eagles Club louder than when she came out to be the babyface in the match against you. I mean,
yeah.
How do you still manage to do what you do and have the crowd in the palm of your hand when I think a lot of people kind of thought, Shimmer fans kind of thought, they'd seen all you had. They'd seen the Saraya Knight thing. They'd seen the gimmick. How easy is it to find new ways to rile people up, or how easy is it to try and just change the gimmick just a little bit so that you're fresh again? Because you really freshened up this past April. I think a lot of people were very surprised.
I don't know. I mean, how has Madonna been in the charts for the length of time she has? How does Cliff Richard sell records? It's just
Cliff Richard sell records? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't even know why I said that.
Because Rick Mayo loves him. That's why.
Oh yeah, fine.
The thing is for me to last in this business, I've got to keep myself fresh. And you've got to remember, I'm as far as I know, the oldest active female wrestler out there at the moment, and I'm competing with girls half my age, and sometimes more than half my age. I've had 24 years of experience of getting on people's nerves and knowing how to push buttons. And I will push buttons as much as I can. And I love going out there and causing shit with the crowd. I love it. It excites me. I love it when they hate me. I love it when they spit on me and they give me shit. I love it. Bring it on. Because that's what Saraya's all about. You've got to remember the history of the character. The character has taken no crap from no one ever. And there's no way that she's going to. So that has always stayed. But her approach to matches is like changes. and it depends on the opponent that she's with, because she never underestimates anybody. Now, the match that I had with Tomika, I loved and I enjoyed, and even Hiroyu. I mean, when she sang "Happy Birthday" to me, I was genuinely pissed. You know, I walked out. I would have stayed there all bleeding night, and then I come back out and she's still singing. And the crowd were going nuts. And I'm thinking, 7 minutes in, and I ain't even laid my hands on her, and these bastards are getting me at it. And half the time, the crowd get me at it as much as I get them at it. They know how to press my buttons, and I know how to press theirs. That's why the heat is there, because they're waiting for me to slip up. They're waiting for me to mess up. They're desperately trying for me to get egg on my face. And they're all going to laugh, and they're all going to scream, and they're all going to be there, and they're all going to watch it, and it will never happen. So they, you know, and the crowd kind of anticipate it as well. Who's she going to pick on? What's she going to say? What she's going to do? You'll never know what I'm going to do, because I never know until I'm out there. So, you know, it's just a long time of learning, and I'm still learning. I'm still, right to this very moment in time, I'm still learning the job, and I'll never take wrestling for granted. Never.
I know this is a question that you can't answer because it comes down to the bookers of the shows in question, but things are different in Bellatrix, and that's obviously because you know they're held in Norwich, which is your home, but you know you're beloved in Bellatrix, and I think anybody that watches Shimmer or Femme Fatale or Shine or whatever, and then sees a Bellatrix show, they see a completely different side of you as a wrestler. Could you foresee, or would you even like for there to be a chance for you to be babyface Saraya in America, for example? Could that happen? Would you like it to happen, I suppose is the question. No.
I mean, I'll do whatever the
if you're asked to do it, you'll do it, but
I will do whatever the promoters ask me to do, and I've got no qualms about that. But I've spent 24 years making a character, and as much as I would not want to do it, I would do it for whoever is telling me what I've got to do, because at the end of the day, he who pays the piper plays the tune. So if they said that my run as a bad girl is over, and that they would like to turn me, I think it would be I'd have to change a lot about myself, and I know that I would still be able to go out there and rile the crowd up as a baby face. I just wouldn't want to, because I love the freedom of America and Canada and Australia. I love being able to be aggressive and crazy and psychotic and let myself go and let my character take over. And I love that. And I love the response of the crowd to Saraya. But if Dave Prazak turned around and said to me, Julia, I want you to do this, with a heavy heart, I would do it. And I would do it to the best of my ability, and I wouldn't let him down. Even though it's something that I wouldn't really want to do, I would. So it's just how it goes, isn't it?
All right, well, we're getting towards the end of the interview now, and there's a couple of other things that we want to touch on. And one thing that we said at the start of the show, or well, before the show started, actually, we were talking to you, is we said that we hoped you had some good stories, and you said that you might have perhaps a road story or something like that to share with us. Have you got anything special for us?
I have. I mean, it depends how much time you got, because did I tell you the Camber Sand story?
Which one was that?
With the van that broke down.
Lee, have we heard this one?
I know I haven't heard it.
Okay, it's going to take me about 10 minutes to say it, but we'll end with this one because it's quite funny.
We've got some time.
Basically, you've got to imagine the scene. We've got a Jimmy Hagan van, which loosely I'll say van, okay? And inside the van there was me, Jimmy Ocean, Ricky Knight, Ivan Trevors, Morris Atula. And we'd broken down in a little side road on the way to Camber Sands, which was a holiday camp. And we were playing Trivial Pursuit, of all games. And Rick and Morris were arguing because Rick wanted to know, Morris had asked this question, who sang this song? And it was the 3 Degrees. Well, Rick went 3 Degrees. Morris went, no, man. And Rick goes, it's 3 Degrees. And he went, no, man. Well, we'd made this thing about you have to say what is exactly on the cards. Well, Rick went, oh, I give up, Morris, I give up. He went, the 3 Degrees. Next thing you know, the board went up. Rick and Morris are arguing. Ivan has run out the van. Jimmy then has copped the arse. Jimmy and Rick have started arguing. Well, in those days, there was no mobile phones. There was no computers. You had to find the nearest telephone box. So Rick and Jimmy are arguing about who has to go and ring the AA to go and get the van fixed. So Jimmy's left. Rick and Morris have then come out of the van. They've peed up against the side of the van. So we're waiting. Jimmy's come back. The AA going to be here in a minute. So 2 hours later, AA turns up. This bloke, rather jolly, gets out the AA. It's not an AA wagon. It's just like one of those car transporters. So he's kind of reversed into us, and he's gone, right, you lot, get in the van. And I've gone, don't you want someone to drive it up? And he went, nah, mate, it's all right. So Jimmy stayed out talking to him, and he's going, like, it's my first day on the job, this. And Jimmy's going, all right. He goes, yeah, I've never done this before. He said, I'm really excited. He says, my first time driving the cab on my own. So Jimmy's got in the van. Well, I'm facing the back of the truck. Everyone else is facing towards the driver, and I'm facing the other way. Well, I see the van getting winched up, and I see it moving towards the edge of the carrier. So I've turned around to Rick, and I said, you know that we said that someone should be guiding the van up? He said, yeah. I says, well, I think the van is about to come off the side of the wagon. So next thing you know, we hear this ping. Now, remember, it's pitch black at this stage. There's no lights because we're in the middle of nowhere. We hear this ping. We see the van disappear off the back of the AA of this wagon and disappear into the blackness. We've all dived out of the van, out of the AA van. We can't find our van. It's just a road. Our van has disappeared. So, like, we're really panicking because we're running down the road, and we'd run for about a mile. We still couldn't find this van. It had disappeared off, like, into the darkness. Well, then next thing now I hear, found it. It come off the back of the wagon, done a 90-degree turn, gone down an embankment, through a field, and like through the fence and into a field, and it was right in the middle of a field with a cow and a mating bull. And our van was in the middle of this field. Remember, there's no lighting. And please, there are going to be some comments in this story. We're not racist. We're not racist in the slightest, okay? But please don't take this as a racial comment. Morris Atula is a black man. There was no lights. We needed to get to the van to see if it was okay. So we sent Morris because we didn't think that the cow would be able to see him, really, because he was on tour. Because he was like the rest of us were like white guys. So in our logic, Morris goes, I'll go. He won't see me. I'll go to the van. Well, we're at the side of the embankment. We see Morris disappear into the blackness. And next thing you know, we see him come back. And he had a big afro. Well, his afro was at 90 degrees. And his mouth was open and his eyes were really wide. And he was screaming. And he's run up the embankment and this bull is chasing him. Well, the bull is snorted and trotted back to the cows. And Morris is shaking like a leaf. So it's like we're drawing straws. Well, while the guys are arguing about who's going to go into this field to go and see if we can get to the van, me and Jimmy have spotted a patch of oil on the ground. And we've gone, no, oh Christ. If that's petrol, we are knackered because we're not going to be able to get that van out the field. What are we going to do? So Jimmy's bent down and he's dipped his fingers in. He went, nah, it's not petrol, gal. He's put his fingers in his mouth. So I've done the same thing and I've tasted it. I went, well, it's not oil. And then Jimmy's put down his lips again. He went, I don't know what that is. It was only where Rick and Ivan had a piss. So me and Jimmy are on our hands and knees putting our fingers in this bloody thing that we thought was petrol. No, it was urine. So me and Jimmy are we're just gone, you can imagine. Well, then Rick and Jimmy start arguing, as they used to do a lot. So they started arguing. So they've decided they are going to go down together, but we're going to use Jimmy as a decoy. So we painted Jimmy's face with dirt, and we're actually doing the commando through the cow shit and just to get to this bleeding van. Well, Jimmy's going down first. Rick's coming down the side of the fence to try and block off. So while the bull is chasing Jimmy, Rick is going around to try and get this van. Well, if you can imagine, you've got me and 4 wrestlers and an AA man trying desperately for at least 2.5 hours to persuade this bull to go so that we could go in and check the van. And all Jimmy kept saying is, our tag team belts are in there. Our bleeding British tag team belts are in there. But the van was upright. It was actually on his wheels. So the guy turned around and next thing you know, we hear this noise coming up and we see these lights. The farmer who the cows that it belongs to has seen all the commotion and is not best pleased. So he's come up with his tractor and he's gone into the field and he's actually winched the van up the embankment and onto the road outside the AA lorry. So the guy has then, because his chain is broken, has had to leave. So he's rung another AA wagon. Well, the next one that they send us is too big to turn around to go in. So that has to go. So then we get another AA wagon that comes in and we winch the van on and we think, right, okay, everything is all right. The poor bloke in the first wagon was giving up his job. He couldn't handle it. He'd only been there an hour with a load of wrestlers. Well, his first night on the job, it happened to be us, and we actually made him eat his own brain. And it ended with Jimmy saying to him, mate, I'd give up your job, mate. The next thing we know, he did. He actually turned around to the AA bloke and said, I'm not doing this. I quit. So we made him quit in about 6 hours. So then we're chugging along in this big AA wagon, and our van is on the back, and everyone's feeling very deflated because we'd been on the road for a long time. Bang, the AA van starts to skid. We pull over to the hard shoulder. The AA van has got a puncture. Well, he's on his own. Well, he turned around and he said to all us guys in the cab, like, is there any chance any of you lot can help me? I've got a flat tyre. Well, you can imagine the response that he got. And none of us got out. None of us got out at all. And we left this poor bloke. So then he had to get another AA man to come out, to lift the wagon, to bring the wagon down, to lift his wagon up, to change the tyre. Well, in the meantime, I needed a wee. So to top the story off, even though we got back to campus safely and we got the brakes done, or the clutch done, and everything was fine, I went up the embankment and I needed to go for a wee. And me and my infinite wisdom thought that looked like a great bush. I'm going to pee behind that. So while I'm trying to watch the fact that no one has followed me up the hill and I'm trying to look for foxes, badgers, all sorts of the creatures that could bite me in the worst place possible, I pulled my trousers down and sat down, and I sat straight in stinging nettles.
Oh.
Well, anybody that has had stinging nettles, try having it on bits that usually don't see the sun. I was in agony. And that's why I always remember this story, because I ended up with a vagina on fire.
Oh, God.
With an AA story that will top all AA stories. So there you go. There you go. That's my story. It's kind of amusing. It's kind of funny. It's kind of tragic. All in one go. But yeah, that's my campus sand story, and every part of that is true.
Let's go with that.
I can't follow your fiery vagina. I can't leave. Is there anything else you could possibly say?
It hurts so bad. It really hurts so bad. So, I mean, people associate poison ivy with like pain. But oh my God, that was horrendous. That was absolutely horrendous. I remember just being in tears. I wasn't very.
When life was a simpler time when I hadn't heard that story. I feel violated by that story.
Oh, mate, I've got so many of these on the road stories. Half the time people don't believe they're true, but travelling with the Superflies has got to be the most eventful, crazy, unpredictable. I mean, there's another story that one day I'll tell you about, when we had a flat tyre on the A14 and it was black and all we had was the headlights, and my husband and Jimmy was drop kicking this pole trying to get it out the floor because we didn't have a jack to change the tyre. and like, just, you can hear like the stamping of feet, and then you'd hear nothing, and then you'd just see this feet coming through the air and smacking against this post. Well, they caught everything. But that's another story. That's a very, very funny story that next time I'm on, I'll probably share with you. But yeah, the Superflies was the most eventful team I have ever been on the road with, and they made me smile. They taught me everything I know, and they made my first few years in the business hell, but they also made it happy enough for me to want to remember it. So I do owe a lot to those two guys, a hell of a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of stories with them you wouldn't believe.
Saraya Knight, everybody, what a professional. She builds it up to a climax, she builds it up to a crescendo, and then she still leaves you with a little taste of what's to come next time.
Yeah, next time. I'll share it with you next time. I've got 2 or 3 that I can share with you. Some stuff of me and Saraya on the road and me and the boys on the road. I've got loads of road stories. You've got to remember I've spent all my life on the road, so yeah. I can share with you some funny and amusing like ditties.
Saraya Knight road trip special coming to you.
Coming to you, yeah. Coming to you.
2 years down the line, eh?
Yeah, just let me know when you want me back. I mean, if you want me back after this conversation, I don't think anyone will want me back.
Well, that remains to be seen. Let's see what the reaction is to this one, but I think people are going to enjoy it. Listen, thanks once again for giving us a lot of your time. Thanks for making us both entertained and uncomfortable at the same time. Thanks for giving us.
Thanks for haunting my soul there.
Thanks for giving us a little bit of a look inside your brain. It's an interesting place in there.
Oh, darling, I don't like being inside my brain. Can you imagine being inside my brain for a day?
Oh, I kind of do at the minute. Yeah. But yeah, no. Good luck with Bellatrix at the weekend. We will be there, and good luck with basically the rest of all your plans. I mean, what else have you got coming up that you want to talk about? Is there anything else you particularly want to plug?
Yeah, on the Saturday we have Epic Encounters 8. That's huge. There's a 40-man rumble, excuse me, for that one. But there's also my son is going for the oh god, I can't get my words out, the WAW heavyweight title, and if he wins, it will be his first, because the rest of us have all been world champions and Zach has never been a world champion. So he's going for his world championship at Epic Studios on Saturday night, and anybody that goes to the Epic shows can get into Bellatrix for £5. We will cut it down to £5 for anyone that goes to the show on Saturday. We've also got Leiston, Fakenham, Thetford, all coming up. So you need to go to www.waw-uk.co.uk, and all the dates are on there. And also, we're now on Ben TV every Saturday at 5 o'clock. I know that there's a lot of people who are going, oh, Ben TV. Yeah, well, it's TV, okay? And it's regular and it's contracted. So we are very proud that we're on Ben TV. And that's every Saturday at 5 o'clock. Bellatrix will be on there, showcasing on there as well. We've also got waw-bellatrix-tv.co.uk, which is our very own internet TV station. And you can catch up on all the Ben TV that's already been shown. And there's loads of gossip and loads of one-on-one interviews and like some really cool stuff. I'm really proud of that TV stuff. And HFP Online are the guys that do all of that, the guys that do our videos, and they're very professional outfit. I'm very pleased with the work they're doing.
And of course, Bellatrix 9 will be available video on demand at some point soon after the show.
Yeah, it just gives a couple of days, and people can start. I mean, we will have the DVDs within 3 weeks of the show. So they will be available for shipping, and all the others. If you go to HFP Online, you will. I think it's hfponline.co.uk. So if you go on there, everything to do with Bellatrix is on there. Everything to do with WAW is on there. All the links to everything we do is on their website. So if anybody wants any DVDs or anything like that, contact them and they will send them out worldwide. They will actually make sure it goes into your, like the format that you need, and they'll make sure that it's delivered promptly.
Indeed. And just to point out as well, Zach's going for the world title this Saturday. He's going up against Doug Williams as well. Let's just mention that as well for people that might want to know.
Yeah, Doug Williams is our champion, is our WAW champion, and he's a very good champion. He beats Steve Corino, so he's a worthy champion.
He is not a shit arse.
No, he's not. He really not. The boy can do his stuff, and I mean he's worked TNA. The boy's done the big leagues. He's actually a very, very capable wrestler, and Zach is so pumped at the moment. He's so aggressively pumped. It's quite crazy. I've never seen Zach so over-focused. And I keep saying to him, look, just be careful, because I don't want him to kind of be so blinkered that he ends up blowing himself up and not being able to perform. you know, and I'm quite worried about how intense Zach is, and Roy is his personal trainer at the minute. Well, Roy runs 5 miles a day just for the fun of it, and then he goes to his gym for an hour and a half every day. So I mean, Roy is just like this crazy athletic. Like, I mean, he puts so many people to shame. It's a joke. I think Roy is going to be the only one that's going to be in Zach's corner, but I'll be there. I'll be there somewhere, running around screaming and feeling every knock and blow. But yeah. But I am worried. I am worried about him because he is so intense at the moment. He's working so hard, burning the candle at both ends. To be fair. So,
well, good luck to him. Good luck to you. And look, we will definitely have you back. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Okay. Well, I'll see you Sunday at Bellatrix 9. Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Sounds like a plan, Stu boy.
All right.
And you, Lee. I will see you soon.
I'm just too disturbed to talk right now.